Hey, so I'm going to say something that's going to make me pretty unpopular right now. And the culture we live in today is all about mental health boundaries and toxic relationships. There was only one non-toxic person who ever existed. His name was Yeshua. There is no such thing as a non-toxic individual. I don't care how perfect you think they are or how perfect you've made them up to be in your mind. There is no such thing as a non-toxic person. I have been called toxic by toxic people. Yes, that is the truth. And maybe what I did was toxic. And I've made amends for being toxic in that moment. Setting boundaries on people is toxic. It's a form of control. It's being used as a form of control. And then you've got the YouTube therapist out there, all the TikTok therapists out there telling you that if you don't respect boundaries, you're toxic. Well, boundaries themselves are toxic. You're saying that if I want to be around you, that I have to not be who I am. And that is toxic. So when you're sitting in these glass houses throwing stones at loved ones, who, yes, will act toxic because they're human. They're human. And emotions are toxic. Think about it. Like, what does the Bible says? It says, be angry, but don't sin. The emotion anger can become toxic, right? The emotion love can become obsessive, which is toxic. The emotion happiness can become toxic. You know, it's like all of these emotions can become toxic. How about instead of trying to control everybody around us so that we don't ever have to be uncomfortable, how about we choose who is important enough that we are going to invest in them and we are going to accept them, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm not talking about people who are legitimately sadistic or abusive. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about simple stuff, right? Where maybe you have a mom like me, or maybe you have a mom like my mom, who doesn't give every thought that comes out of her mouth a whole lot of thought before she just spews it out. And maybe if she took a minute to breathe and process that thought, she would have worded it better, or she would have approached you differently, right? But wouldn't you rather have that mom in your life who's willing to tell you the truth? Who's willing to stick up for you against other people against you, but even sometimes against you when you're doing things that are going to hurt yourself. Like, we've got to get off the therapist couch, you guys. They aren't doing us any good. They aren't doing us any justice or any help when they tell us that we need to set boundaries and remove people from our lives or minimize contact with people who love us and know us better than anybody else, because it isolates you. It isolates you, and the enemy does his best work when you are isolated. So wouldn't it be better to look at that difficult person in your life and remember that you are also a difficult person in somebody's life, and show grace and love and accept their role in your life, that therapist has they have nothing to gain by you getting better. And when they isolate you from people that you love, it puts you at risk to be harmed by people who don't have your best interest in heart, right? Which causes all kinds of residual problems for you. So I am telling you right now, there is no such thing as a non-toxic person. And as well as you think you are also toxic at times in your own life to other people. So you are not without sin, and you have no business casting stones. And if you buy into the garbage of looking for only non-toxic relationships, you will be alone. You will be alone and isolated and exactly where the enemy wants you. I pray that if you're stuck in this cycle of constant victimization, blaming, holding people accountable, setting boundaries that leave you completely isolated from sound counsel, I fear for you and I pray for you. And I hope that you'll make your way back home, because you cannot continue on this way. Everything good in your life is being taken from you, and in a lot of cases, we willingly give it away. There's no such thing as a non-toxic person, because as long as we have emotions, we have the ability to be toxic at times. I love you, and I hope that I've said something that will help you to put things in perspective. Shalom.